makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Well, we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together, enjoying some beauty on the outside and a whole lot of beauty on the inside with a full face step-by-step makeup tutorial. And today our easy makeup application is going to purple and pink. And then we're going to be playing with a liquid eyeshadow glitter topper. So let's jump on in. All right. So today, I don't know if you're hearing that or not, but I'm getting to hear myself twice. That's always fun. Okay, so our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And that one we'll always look at like week after week. And then last week we worked on a verse from Proverbs. So, Proverbs 31, that's always fun to get your day started. So strength and dignity are her clothing, and she laughs at the time to come. And that was Proverbs 31, 25. What do we got? Yeah, 31, 25. Yay. Okay, so I encourage you, go ahead and go back and read all of that. Did I say Psalms? All of the Proverbs 31 and use that as encouragement, not as a way to bring yourself down, because there's a lot happening, and she's like perfection. So use that as encouragement for something you strive to become, not discouragement because you have not arrived yet. All right. So this week we're going to be going into Psalms. This is why I kept saying Psalms. Okay. So this week we're going to be in Psalms, and our verse is going to be, God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. And that's Psalm 46:5. Now, we are not the her in that verse. It's referring to Israel, the people. But it's also referring to the encouragement and the faith and the hope that they have. So, I guess you can kind of throw yourself in there as a her if you want to, but it's not actually directly referring to, females. Okay, so that is going to be our verse that we are going to be working on throughout the week. So, like usual, that is going to be scrolling across the bottom of our screen there while we work on our makeup tutorial. So, I hear some of you dinging already, so let me get that chat open up. Good morning. Great to see you guys. And go ahead and give a shout out. Let me know where you're coming from this morning. And for those of you who are watching this later, whether on a podcast platform or, you're just watching on YouTube or something like that. Glad to have you here with us. Sorry, I don't get to publicly acknowledge you, but you can go ahead, whether it's live or you are viewing this later on, ask your question on whatever platform you're on, and I'll get notification of it, and I'll do my best to get that asked. Now, if you're watching this live with me, cool thing is we'll get that asked and answered while you are live with me this morning. So I'll do my best to make that happen for you. So I see a couple of different countries represented this morning. So nice to have you guys with us. I see some UK. Man, it's like middle of the night there, isn't it? Because it's morning here. Well, thank you so much. I love your determination. Either that or maybe you're just a night owl, because I am. So we'll see how that goes for you. Oh, a little bit of Australia happening. Got some Texans going on. So little different parts of the state. So great to have you here with me this morning. So let's just jump in. Now, I've already got my skincare routine done because, that is the most important thing. You got to get that right. That's like building a building without a foundation. It would just fall down. So skincare routine is all done and you are ready to go. And then we are going to start with our primer. So this is like, the frame of the house. So this right here is the POREfessional. This is the matte primer. If you are combo oily skin or not, This is a great primer for controlling that oil or just keeping you nice and mattified. But it does a great job of just setting that face ready to go. So we are just going to use one little tiny thing of that. We're going to work that between our fingers for a sec. And then any place where you might experience separation of your foundation, maybe you've got oil in the T-zone, you got wrinkles going on around the mouth so that our lips are ready for our lipstick. We're just going to tap that every place to get that spin. What is wrong with my words this morning? That skin prepped and primed and ready to go. All right. Now that we're all primed and we're ready to go and we've had our giggles, let's go ahead and move on to our next thing. So we are playing with our Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer. Yes, some people put their concealer underneath. Some people put their concealer on the top. Depends on what you're trying to do. For today, we're going to be using the concealer on the underneath. Underneath, it's truly a concealer. So typically, if you're going to use that on the top of your foundation, you're using it more of like a highlighter, illuminator, as opposed to a concealer. So we're just going to get a little bit of that out here. There we go. We're going to put it, hit the big spots where we want it, and then we're going to let it set for just a second to kind of warm up to our skin so that it will blend out a little nicer. So we're just going to leave that there for a second while I cap it. And I trust that you have had a blessed week from last week to this week. I know I've enjoyed seeing quite a few of you online. I'll probably do a post later today. For those of you who are podcast viewers, probably are not aware, I've had a pretty significant life change in the last couple of weeks. So I want to share with you, what it is that God has been doing. So you'll see something come out about that in a little bit. And super excited about the opportunities that God has put in front of me as a result of those, what I consider major change. Something I've been working through for the last 5.5 years. Its season had come to an end. And so anyways, excited about what God is doing and what he has already done, and looking forward to what he will continue to do as a result of that. So we'll talk about that on social media later this week. So I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics brushes for Ulta. This is the brush 101. And now that our concealer has warmed up just a little bit, we're just going to blend that out. Going to get that on that eyelid. Let that behave like a primer. There we go. Under the eye, right up to that lash line. And then I got redness on my cheek, so I'm just going to blend that out a little bit. Let that even out that skin tone. Yes, Stephanie, you can use a beauty blender if you'd like to. For this particular foundation that I'm going to be using, I just feel that it does better with a brush as opposed to a beauty blender. I don't really like the Lancome foundation with a damp beauty blender especially. So when I'm doing the Lancome, which is what we're using today, I do feel like it does better with a brush. So speaking of that, we're going to be using the Lancome Tinty Doll. This is the shade 225N. Make sure you get near your nearest Ulta or Sephora and get shade matched so that whatever you consider your perfect shade, be it a little lighter, a little darker, same shade, you are all good to go. So we're going to take this brush. I've already pumped this up. This is the new formula. This is the one that has the SPF in there. So if your foundation doesn't have SPF, make sure that you're supplementing that in somewhere. Could be that maybe your primer that you're using has the SPF in it. Could possibly be that your setting spray that you're using has that SPF in there. But you want to make sure one way or the other, you've got your SPF in there. Okay, so we're just going to use one pump of that. And we're going to dab that. Hit the big places. And then buff that out. We're going to go right up to where that concealer is. I like to kind of use circular motions. I feel it does a better job of blending as opposed to up and down or just sideways exclusively. Kind of like when you paint a wall, you want to use different strokes so that you don't end up with any splotchiness. And then also a little bit of stippling on the cheek. Stippling, that's a quilting term, but I think you know what I mean. Okay, so then we're going to use just a tiny bit more, just like a little partial pump. And that's going to do our forehead up here. I do like a medium to full coverage, so that's why I use an extra little bit on the forehead. If you like it a little more to the medium, then you could go ahead and with that first pump, hit your whole face, and you'd be perfectly fine. And then I just like to get a little bit closer up on it. Just make sure everything looks as good close up as it did far away. Okay. Now we're all blended out. It's time to set that bad boy before anything creases and crevices or does anything crazy. All right. So we're going to be using the Laura Mercier. This is the translucent setting powder in the ultra blur formulation. Super like the container because these holes have not clogged on me one time. Nothing is more frustrating than tipping upside down your setting powder and nothing comes out because the little holes are too tiny and it clogs up, drives me crazy. All right, so I'm using a beauty blender. This puff has like a pointy end and then a round end. We're going to be using the pointy end to start out with. You're just going to set that in that setting powder. And we're going to do under the eyes first. And I like to get that corner. There we go. Now that we've got that done, we're going to move around the rest of the face. So we're going to start big end right down the center. Could you see that cloud of powder just go poof? One of the reasons why I like a puff as opposed to a brush is so that it doesn't do that. But I guess we were in a puffing mood today. All right. And then we're just going to press that in as we work around our face. And again, just pressing that in, just trying to set that foundation. Once you get it where you want it to stay there, right? And then we want to make sure that we are giving ourselves the best possibility to keep that kind of nice matte. All right. So now we have a nice, clean, even color. So now we get to put color exactly where we want it and have our face contoured and shaped the way that we want it. So we're going to start out with our brush. This is a foundation brush. This is from It Cosmetics. I have no idea what the number of this is anymore, but we're going to use this end for the bronzer and then this end for the highlighter. So the bronzer we're going to be using is the Hoola bronzer. Love the shade of this, as you can tell. Just does a really nice job. Not too dark, not too light. It has a little bit of warmth, but not too much, so you don't end up with like orangey or anything like that. So we're going to start out with the wide end of that. We're only going to put it on one side of that brush, and then we're going to turn that to the up. We're going to go from the top of the ear to about the middle of the eye, headed towards the nose. So right here, we're going to go above the small of that cheek. What that does for us is that kind of brings the face up instead of dragging it down. Same thing on the other side. And we're going to use that same flat side against the face, right against that hairline. Yeah, I know last week my hair was pink. This week it is purple. You are so right. Now we're going to go to the small edge from the ear to about the corner of the mouth, just under that jawline. We're going to accentuate that jawline to give us the appearance of a more chiseled look. And also, if you have double chins, this will help take away some of the appearance of that. Keep your face kind of in a neutral so that you're truly getting underneath that jawline. If you smile or something, you're going to lift it up. There we go. We're not quite meeting in the middle. We're just going to about right there. Okay, now we're going to take that same side. We're going to go alongside our nose on both sides. Oh, I don't know why I just did that twice. Okay, I could have a very contoured nose today then. And you can always fine tune that here in just a minute. Now that we got the lows on there, we need to add the highs. So we're going to switch to this side of our brush. I'm using the Juvia's Place. This is the Tribe highlighter in the volume 3. Things I love about this one. It has a little bit of shine and shimmer, but not too much. And it's just kind of a nice neutral champagne color. So pretty versatile. There are different shades of this Tribe highlighter though. So find the one that, works best for you. It does have a couple of kind of gold colors. So if that works with your skin tone, just love Juvia's Place. So right here across, I didn't walk you through this. I'm so sorry. So right across the top of the cheekbone and then up the side, right beside the brow on the temple. And then we're going to go down the center of the face, making sure that we hit the Cupid's bow. How about if I actually tutorial you during a tutorial? Okay, then we're going to grab our blush brush and we're going to be using the Juvia's Place. This is the volume 4. And today we're going to be in this one right here. Yeah, let's do this one right here. I mean, we're going to have a lot of color happening on the eyes. So typically I like to bring the cheek down a little bit so the focus goes to the eye. But I feel like we need a little bit to balance between the lips and the cheek today. So these are very pigmented. Just give it a couple of taps. We're going to go between the bronzer and the highlighter. And then between the bronze and highlighter up there on the temple. And then one tap. Get along that hairline, tip of the nose, chin. All right. Now you are all contoured up. So we've got a little bit of shape to our face now happening. So let's say our verse together. So, let me see our verse. There we go. Our verse for this week is going to be Psalms 46:5. God is in the midst of her. She shall not. Oh, there's a word missing. Hold on just a second. She shall not be moved. There we go. God will help her when the morning dawns. Psalms 46:5. Okay. I can't even read. Crazy. Okay, so let me go back to the chat. There we go. Okay, so today we're going to be working on our lips. We're going to have some purple going on, and then we're going to add a little pink to that to just kind of give it a little bit of extra dimension. So I'm going to be starting out with the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Lip Liner. And this is in the shade Pandemonium. It's just kind of a nice, kind of a purpley lavender color. It's just about the same shade as the lipstick that we're going to be using on the outside, which is the MAC Matte, Heroin. Okay, so we're going to outline the lips like straddling right on the outside of that lip line, paying special attention to that Cupid's bow. So here we go. Start out in the Cupid's bow. Get that V nice and even, and then we're going to work from the outside edge of that all the way around to the corner. There you go. Same thing on the other side. All right. Now on the bottom, we're going to start in the center, and then we're going to work up to the corners. Now, before we go on, take a look at the line that you've done and make sure that you like the shape of it. If you need to tweak anything, let's go ahead and do that now. Okay. Now we're going to go just to the inside of that line with just a little bit lighter pressure and line one more time. Kind of just light feathery strokes. There you go. And that's just going to help us get a little bit of an ombre kind of look going on as we play with these two colors. So like I said, the first color they're going to use is going to be the outside, and that is the shade Heroin. This is the MAC Matte, and it's just kind of a nice, kind of a lavendery color. So we're going to do just the outside of that, right on that lip line, leaving the inside empty. And you can see I've just left a void like in the middle. Check your shape. All right, once you like that, then we're going to grab our center color. I debated between an orange and a pink today just because of what I'm going to have on, but because of the eyeshadow we're using, I opted for a pink. So I'm going to be using the Candy Yum Yum, which is also the Retro Matte, and we're just going to put that in the center. So going up a little bit to compensate for the Cupid's bow, and then down in the bottom. Now you can see they just kind of naturally blended together, but now we're just going to put our lips together a little bit. Don't do it so much so that you smash out the outside of the lip line. I see people, man, sometimes they smash them together, and I'm like, man, you just spent all that time on your lip liner and you just mucked it up by smashing your lips together. So just do it gently so you don't move the outside boundaries that you so carefully and beautifully created. All right, now our lips are all good to go. So let's play with our eyes. Are you ready? Okay, this is going to be so fun. So let me outline it and then we'll do it. So we're going to start out, and first palette is going to be the Festival. This is from Juvia's Place. And in the Festival, we're going to be playing in Yuli. And then at the end, we're going to use a little bit of, what is this one? Eerie G right here. And then I think the other color is coming from here. And then we're going to be using the Zulu, this one right here. And we're going to be, these ones don't have names. So in the Zulu, we're going to be on this one here. And then we're going to be on this one here. And then finally, we're going to use the Topper. This is the Juvia's Place. This is part of the Culture palette duochrome collection that they did. And this one is the Fula. So we're going to finish with the Fula. So let's start out with the Morphe M441. And we're going to grab that Festival palette. There you go. And we're going to start out with this one here. We're just going to get shadow on the tip of that brush. And we're going to get it right up here on that brow bone. Just need a little light dusting. Just gives us something to blend into. You're looking for something, some color that is like your skin tone, but just a little bit lighter. So for you, that could possibly be maybe a champagne color, might be a nice neutral, a nude, could be something from their Taupes palette. Just find something that's a little bit lighter than what you have, as in your skin shade. All right, so we're just going to get that up there, and that really just gives us something to blend into and something to play with here in just a minute. So we're going to set that brush aside, and now we are going to grab, this is the Morphe M433. We're going to grab our Zulu palette, and we're going to be in this purple color here. And again, we're just getting it on the tip of the brush. Don't load it down too much. We don't want excess fallout happening. And for this, we're going to be right on, you can see where your brow bone is, right there, or your socket bone, right here. And you're going to go, like, don't go below that. So we're going to go above that. And we're just going to kind of go back and forth. Less is more here. This is a very pigmented shadow. And we want to make sure, let's get a little color deposited on there, and then we'll talk through this. So when you open your eye, you want to be able to see that shadow peeking above the fold of your eye. So I need to come up just a little bit because I want to see it. Maybe just a little more. I always second guess. I need to go up a little higher. Here we go. So you can see I got a lot of real estate here. So depending on the shape of your eye will depend on how much purple you actually going to get on there. So now you can see when I look forward, you can see that purple peeking up above where my where my lashes start. Just make sure you can see the purple when you open your eye and look forward. Okay. So now we're going to make sure we get it to the intensity that we want. We want it a little bit darker than you think you actually want it because we're going to be blending out and then adding a topper on there, which is going to dull it just a little bit. So now we're going to do that same thing on the other side. And bring it up. Yes, this is the Morphe M433. And all the products and brushes that I know what the numbers are will be in the show notes as well. Thank you for asking that, Maria. Okay. Now, I've got some eye watering going on. We got like all kind of thing in the air here in Texas. So we're just going to dab that off really quick. Now we're going to take that purple using the same brush we're using. Just get a little on the tip again. And we're going to bring that in to about the center, just right along that lash line. And then same thing on the other side. There you go. So you can see what we've got right now is just purple like that. So we're going to take our fluffy brush and just in case we had any fallout, we're going to dust that away. Now that looks a little crazy. Hang with me. We're going to fix it. Okay. So now we're going to grab our, what is that other brush number? Okay. Looking, there it is. Okay. Woo! This is going to be the Morphe 506. Just another fluffy brush. And we're going to take that 506. We're going to go into that purple as well. And we're just going to fine tune that bad boy right out here. We're just going to make sure we've got that crease nice and beautifully colored. And that we have come in here and then got that color all nice. Just intensifies and puts it where we want it. There we go. Now we're going to go back to the 433 that we were using. Go ahead and dust that off, or if you've got a second one, go ahead and do that. I really should do that. I should get a second one. Okay, we're going to switch back to the Festival palette. We're going to be using the, what is it, Erie G, this one right here. This brush, you're just going to get a little bit on the tip. So don't swirl, just kind of tap it because we just want like a smidge on there. Right here where that white, the Erie G, or the Yuli, excuse me, the Yuli is meeting the purple. We're going to use that pink to blend out the two. So we're just going to soften that edge with that pink. So just tap it and make sure you don't go over the white all the way. We want that white still showing through. We're just going to use that pink right there to soften that. And then just to make sure, We're going to grab that 441, go back into the Yuli, and just dust over it one more time to make sure you didn't do too much. Okay, and so now we have a beautifully blended out top part. You can see that what we've got going on there. And now we're gonna grab, well, actually, let's do the inside first. I am gonna be using, this is a smudger. And this is the, let's actually not use a smudger. Let's use this is the It brush for Ulta. This is the Precision Eyeliner. And this acts just kind of like a little finger, just a little tiny tip on there. And we're going to grab the Ufala. No, that's a little too orange. It was this one here. This one right here. The orange in the Zulu. And we're just going to get a little bit on the flat side of that. We're just going to put that right in here. And then on the bottom. Just a little bit of an accent color here. All right, we can come back and tweak that in just a second. Now go ahead and grab your topper. This is, again, is the Juvia's Place. This is part of the Culture. I can't remember if it's a Culture or the Culture 2. I think it's just the original Culture palette. Anyways, this is the Duochrome and this is the Fula. So we're going to grab that, and that void that we have left, we are going to fill in with this liquid duochrome eyeshadow. So you're just going to pull it out and set it down. And this just kind of, it's got like a flat brush, and you're just going to paint that in right in the void that you left. So we're going to go right up to that purple shadow. And then we're going to fill in all the uncolored spaces. And I'm going to go right on top of that orange. I love that. Can you just see that shimmer? So beautiful. So we're going to put that back in, go to the other side. Going all the way down to that lash line. Yeah, I really try to keep my eyes sort of flat and only partially opened while I'm doing this. Because if you open your eye all the way, you're going to end up having it transfer if you do that before it dries. So I've contemplated getting a little fan to help speed up the dry time of this. Let's just make sure we get all the way to the inside corner. There we go. Okay, like I said, I don't want transfer on it, so we're going to do that weird thing, and we're just going to fan it down a little bit. These usually do dry pretty fast, so once you feel it stop feeling quite so chilled, then you've got it dried good enough you can go ahead and open your eye. And I can feel my left eye is already starting to water, so let's just go ahead and tap that. There we go. Gonna take our fluffy brush again and dust off what we got. Now we're going to grab our smudging brush. This is a Real Techniques. This is a number 087, and I believe this just says smudger on it. So we're going to grab that, and then we're going to grab that Festival palette. Just kidding. The Zulu palette. And we're going to be in this color here, and we're going to smudge out the, actually, let's put the, well, 6-1-F doesn't have another. Let's go ahead and put the liner on first. Okay. So for our eyeliner, we're going to be using the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eyeliner. And this is in the shade Psychedelic Sister. Nice, beautiful color. And in place of a typical black liner that we usually do, we're going to be using this purple color. So we're going to go from the outside here to about halfway. And from the other side, outside, just a little bit past where your purple shadow went. And now on the bottom, we're going to go from that outside edge and about 3/4 of the way in. Just right along where your lashes are coming out of your skin. And we are going to blend out over top of that with that Festival. So don't worry too much about it if it's not like a nice, neat line. Now we do want the top neat, right where it meets your lashes. So it should look about like that. Now that we've got that done, now we're going to grab the smudger and go back to what I was talking about with the Zulu palette. Okay, so take that brush, just get it right on the tip. We're going to go on the outside here. And we're just going to smudge in that purple all the way where you put that liner. And then bring it out to your purple over here. And you can go up around if you want to make sure that you've got nice intensity of color here. There you go. Same thing on the other side. We're going to go up and around, make sure we got nice color. I'm going to dust that off just a little bit. I'm going to go back to the Festival palette and we're going to get in that pink just a smidge. So in the Erie G, just a little bit on the tip there. And between where we put that orange and the purple, we're just going to give a little pink touch in there. There we go. Now today I'm not going to be doing lashes. I got a lot of stuff to do and it does not involve that. So I am going to give us a nice line with the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner. And this is in the shade black. And we are just going to outline a nice thin line from the outside edge all the way to the inside edge. Just give a nice thin line. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. See how that just kind of opens up the eye? All right. So nice thin line. Here we go. We're going to let that set for just a second while we work on our brows. So you can see my hair has now changed color, therefore my brow product has to change color. So I was using the Jumbo eyeliner from NYX and the Jumbo eye pencil, same product. Now I'm just using the shade Eggplant. So a little bit darker than my hair color, but you know, it'll work. So whatever the brow product is that you're using, be it Benefit, Anastasia, whatever the case may be, you'll go ahead and do your brows now. So you want to make sure that you have started, I should have mentioned this in the beginning when we talked about skincare, but you want to make sure that you have started with a nice clean brow. You have your shape already good. You're freshly waxed. You don't got like extra hairs hanging around. No long boys. And then we will fill in our brow. So your brow should go from about the, right here, the eye straight up is where it should start. And then if you went from your nose to your eye, that is where your brow should end. So we're doing a straight line and then a 45-ish. So you can see my brow hairs are past that straight up line. So we're going to fill that in just a little bit to bring that brow over. And then I'm just going to follow around my natural brow shape. And I'm going to stop before that 45 degree is because I'm going to allow the brow brush to blend that out and give me that nice sharp tail. So this, we're just looking for a big picture right now, and then we'll use that brow brush to get this fine-tuned. Yes, I believe God gave me great lips, but he did not give me great brows. You know, it's what keeps you humble. My brows are my Amish. Okay, so look and make sure that you've got your brows about the same shape. They go in about the same distance from each other. I know another quilt kind of reference there. I don't know what's happening today. Okay, so I am going to grab my brow brush, and this is a Real Techniques, and it just says angled brow. So if you need to add a little brow product, you can take that brush and just kind of swipe it up on the tip of that pencil, and that will load that up just a little bit so you can get that tweaked and perfected the way that you want it. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to bring that tail down to where I want it. And then I'm going to get this side over here, smooth out, and get that nice tail over there. And looks like I might need a little bit. And you can see that also lightened that brow product ever so slightly because that is a pretty significantly dark. I'm not sure if I need a lighter brow product or a darker purple on my hair. Ah. The tough decisions in life. Okay. Yeah. Thank y'all for laughing with me. Okay, so now you can see we've got that nice, lovely, shimmery shade in there among those mattes. We've got that purple happening. We've got that pink blend out. We've got that nice orange as a contrast color on the inside. So what are we ready for now? We are ready for our mascara. So go ahead and grab your lash curler. I am using the Tweezerman Onyx Great Grip Lash Curler. So we're going to use that verse as a timer. So with that being said, let me get down to that verse. There we go. And when you put your lash curler on and you crimp it down, you want to make sure that your skin is not being pinched. So if this is a painful experience for you, you need to undo it and pull it out just a little bit and then try it again. This should not hurt. So we are going to go to the lash line. Your lashes are going to totally be in the middle here. So sometimes you need to kind of go up and down to find it. When you crimp it down, you should not feel pinching on your eyelid. Like I said, if you do, release it, pull it out just a smidge, and try it again. When you find that sweet spot, then you're going to say your verse, in this case twice, because it's a little bit of a shorter verse, and that will be your timer. So find your sweet spot. Okay, ready, set, go. Oh, ooh, okay, go. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. Psalms 46:5. Say that one more time. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. Psalm 46:5. I'm kind of liking that verse. I feel like we need some kind of a sunset thing. Okay. Find that sweet spot on the other side. There we go. Ready, go. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. Psalm 46:5. Say that again. God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when the morning dawns. Psalm 46:5. Okay. Our lashes are now successfully curled. I am using the Monsieur Big. This is the waterproof mascara. Like I said, I'm not wearing lashes today. I got stuff to do. So I am going to give 3 coats of mascara so that I get a nice thick lash, but I don't have to worry about lashes today. So the first coat, we're going to kind of just cover everything very lightly. Just want to make sure we're using that as kind of a primer base coat. Same thing on the other eye. Just a nice light coat. Making sure we're catching those tips. Inside. And then all the way to the outside corner. Okay, we're going to do one more coat. And you're going to make sure you back on those tips. And same thing on the other side. We're just making sure we're getting all the way to the edge there. Now you can see I touched it right there. So we're just going to tap that out. Let's see. I may have to actually come in with a little the duochrome shadow to fix that. That's okay. Easy fix. I'm going to grab my magnifying mirror and we're going to catch those bottom lashes now. On the bottom lashes, going to make sure you go all the way from root to tip. We're going to go all the way from one side of the eye to the other, sweeping up underneath the lash so you get the tips nice and covered. So you can see I'm using the tip of the brush a little bit and then also the wide part. There you go. Now, same thing on the other side. Woo! There we go. All the way from the left side to the right side. And then we're also going to get on the top lashes one more time. So we'll give that just a second. Let's get one more coat on those top lashes. And then that will conclude our mascara. There we go. So you can see it's not quite as elaborate as if we had wore a false lash, but it is pretty good. And then if you close your eye, now let's go ahead and catch that little spot I got over here. So I'm going to dust off that tip and I'm just going to come in here And we are literally just going to tap that on that little spot that I got to clean that up. You know, stuff happens. You got to know how to fix it, right? And I seem to have a monitor having gone out. Okay. There we go. Yay! So now we're going to take that brush one more time and we're just going to dust off. We're going to come back with that highlighter brush. We're just going to make sure we did a couple of dustings. So we're just going to grab that highlighter, make sure that that is all still good. Oh yeah, that is just so pretty. Stray little thing there. Okay, so let's see. Now that we've got, what am I missing? We've gotten our lips. I feel like I've missed something. I think it's just the setting spray. So we've got everything where we want it now. Eyeshadow is done and beautiful. Mascara is on. We got our eyeliner. We got our lipstick. Now we want it to stay that way all day, right? So we're going to grab our Juvia's Place. This is the Ready, Set, Sealed. And we're just going to give that a little bit of a shake and set that. Nice. We're going to let that dry down ever so slightly. I know, I really do think I'm going to get one of those little fans because I think that would just help immensely with having having everything dry down a little bit faster and not having to blend it out. Okay, my monitor has gone out again. Just going a little crazy here. All right, technology, man. Okay, so we're going to review our verse again that is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. God is in the, let's see, yeah, God is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. And that's Psalm 46, verse 5. Let me see if I can get this going here because my controls are on that side. Okay. There we go. Got things like bouncing going around. Got crazy around here. All right. So we're going to go over to our captions here and let's get that on the screen. There we go. So God is in the midst of her and she shall not be moved. God will help her when morning dawns. Psalm 46:5. All right. So it has been a great day hanging out with you here today. It has been lovely just enjoying this full face of makeup together with you in the Bible verse. I've enjoyed hanging out with you. I look forward to seeing you throughout this week on a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Let's see what we've got. I have got a little bit of something to share with you. So let me get this going here. I met with my mentor the other day and we worked through some of the book, final going through. And so super excited to, in the near future, be able to present Color Me James. We're going to give it 2 weeks for you to get your copy of the book. And then we'll be diving into season 3, which will be using the Color Me James. And then we're going to spend the next almost year together memorizing the book of James. So I would encourage you, grab a couple friends, do this together because it is much easier when you have a support system when taking on such a daunting task as memorizing an entire book of the Bible. But I assure you it will be so worth it. So there's a couple ways you're going to be able to get this. The first way is it'll be available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, like normal places that you shop for books. The second way, that's going to be just a regular bound book. This is all a coloring book. So I would encourage you that the best way to get this, in my opinion, is the spiral bound version. And the spiral bound version is only going to be available for me from the website, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. And with the spiral book is going to come a digital version of that as well. So you can actually take that with you on your iPhone, your iPad, whatever tablet device you have, to be able to reference your materials and continue to study. So whatever. Oh, the other thing is the digital version is the full color version. So, and it is, in my opinion, it's breathtaking. It's beautiful. So I look forward to be able to sharing that with you in the near future. So those of you hearing this, if you're one of my beta readers, you'll be getting that in the near future. So I am excited to be able to share that with you in the near future. So So I know we talked about this a little bit already, but you can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus at the website, little bit of makeup, whole lot of Jesus.com, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. All of those places are going to be able to direct you to that. The show notes will have a link for no matter which way you want it. It'll have link for that. So let us have a blessing. You know we're going to sing that out. Of course we are. So join me wherever you are. Look a little crazy. It's okay. Share Jesus. Here we go. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his face toward you and give you peace. Oh, Heavenly Father, how much I thank you for all the women who have hung out with me here live this morning, for those who have stayed up, Father, from other countries. How grateful I am. And I just pray that you would give them an extra measure of blessing as they go throughout this week, that you would help us be diligent as we memorize Psalms 46, that we would remember and use this as encouragement for hope and for faith, Father, that you will be there with us at the dawn. And I just pray that you would be with us as we put on our makeup throughout this week, that we would remember beauty on the outside is nice, but it is all about beauty on the inside. And we just pray that you would help us to take these verses that we have memorized and treasured in our hearts, and that we would share them with ourselves and then with others as well to edify and encourage. Father, help us to put on our full armor of God every day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Well, again, it has been a joy to hang out with you. I hope that you have a wonderful week this week. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, YouTube. You know, it's all over the place. So look forward to spending some time with you throughout this week. Reach out. Show me some pictures of what you got. How did your look come out today? Did you use the colors I chose, or did you go with totally new colors? Look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed week. Goodbye. God bless. Love you.